Hi, I'm John. This is my show, Orange is the New Black Cards. So, I had made a lot of videos about the Logan Paul fake Pokemon thing and my conclusion that it was all a big scam from the beginning, that there's no way possible that somebody of the caliber of like a Mealy Pops could have bought that case and then wrapped it and sold it under the pretext that it's like real and shit, right? It's not fucking possible. So my conclusion was that this had to be some much bigger setup, much bigger scam, and what they're scamming is the public, and they're doing it for the advertisement and for Logan Paul's Prime Drink Company. That's the big payoff. And like, if people don't know, that drink company's in Walmart. I seen a video like right after all this stuff went down, then Logan Paul saying, okay, Prime is now in like 2,300 Walmart stores. And it's like, well, if it's in 2,300 Walmart stores, how many other stores is it being distributed to? And you got to think, that's just in America. That's what I'm saying, is that people think small. They have small vision. They don't see the large picture, okay? So what about worldwide? Is that company, that Prime Drink Company, being distributed worldwide? And if it's not, that's what happens like when a company like Coca-Cola buys the company and they can just distribute it across the world. It's so much bigger than what we know. It's big. And that's what I'm saying, is that the Prime Drink Company thing, that's a big company. That's a big deal. There's billions and billions of dollars involved in when they make the sale, because it's going to mostly likely is something like that. It's going to be sold, because people that don't know, it's like Coke and Pepsi, they own all kinds of other stuff. They own like just for instance, if you go on the potato chip aisle, like Lay's and the other companies over there, they're all owned by Coke and Pepsi too. They own all that shit. But then there's stuff like, you can see like Coke is in like McDonald's. There's the companies that like Coke is in, right? And then Pepsi, they have the thing that's called Yum Brands, and Yum Brands has Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, stuff like that. Those companies, those are under the it's called Yum Brands, okay? So in Yum Brands all sells Pepsi. And so it's not that like Taco Bell would own Pepsi. No, it's like Pepsi would own Taco Bell, because the reason that Pepsi wants their product to be distributed in those places. And so what you'll find is that under the Yum Brands, which is, like I said, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and I forgot the other one I was just thinking of and stuff. But whatever, those companies all sell Pepsi products and stuff. And that's what I'm just trying to say is that Pepsi and Coke are huge companies. They're huge. They're involved in shit that like I said, they own all the potato chips. They own all the freaking fast food restaurant companies too. Their involvement in the stuff of what's going on, it's huge. It's huge, huge, huge. Right? So the Prime Drink Company thing that Logan Paul invented or whatever it is, it's a company and shit, right? What I'm saying is that company's that's a big deal. And it's just a matter of time. It's just inevitable. The whole purpose for them making that company is not that they want to have a drink company. The whole purpose for making that drink company is for it to get big and you sell it off to like a Coke or Pepsi. And then they distribute it across the world. And it's huge. It's like, it's the kind of money that like just a normal person like me, it's like I can't even even me understanding how big it is, I can't even fathom how big it is and shit, right? So I was thinking about the Sasha T buying that Charizard card just recently. I'm thinking about him buying that Charizard card at the Dallas show. And so now I'm looking at it, it's like, so I'm just doing really quick, I'm just doing a quick analysis of what this is and stuff, but it's got me like, it's like my spidey senses are going off, right? And it's got me tingling, thinking, boy, this looks like the first initial setup into the scam. It looks like this is what it was. It looks like, because what we're talking about is getting advertisement for the Pokemon case, right? And so me as a normal person, I never would have been interested in the Pokemon case, the sealed case that Mealy Pops and the Jacob guy bought, I guess his name is. I wouldn't have really been interested in that unless I had first seen the Sasha T trade that happened with that Charizard card, right? And he was talking about and all the things he's talking about, but it's like, okay, I understand Sasha T. He's a businessman and he's in the card market, so that makes it enough to give it a legitimate reason why he would trade for that card. But as I think about it, it's like, really? Was that a trade he really would have done? Or is this something that was involved like from the beginning of that Prime Drink Company advertisement, the build-up. It's got to be like the build-up, the steps of what they're moving in. So it makes me actually think about this, and I'm going to show you here really quick. It's like, well, look at who he's dealing with, and let's listen, look at the numbers they're saying, and it's like, this looks fake too. I'm thinking now that Sasha T was involved in the scam too. Like, this is like the first setup of getting the big advertisement and getting eyes on people's attention onto that Charizard, and then moving it to the Charizard case, which then Logan Paul gets, and it's all fake and stuff, right? It's like the steps. So it's like Sasha T might have been involved with this. So right now, look at, so here he is, he's talking to Mealy Pops. Now, listen to what they say when they come up with the number for the card, what they say, like the trade value. They're going to say it's $400,000, okay? So here, let's listen to this real quick.
Yeah, Charizard. What would you value a Charizard 10 at right now? 350, like, 350. But if you're trading 400, 150 trade.
If I was in your position and I had someone offer me a PSA 10, I would give one of my PSA 9 extra and money.
Okay, so it was harder to say. That's why I played it a little bit extra there. But so see how Sasha T drops that number right off. And what? How did Sasha T become an expert in the Charizard? All of a sudden, he's an expert on Charizard value, the prices, and he knows exactly what they're. So he drops that number, 400,000. See, that's the number he's got it. He's already got that number. And then the Mealy Pops, he says it was really quiet there. That's why I kept playing a little extra, trying to see if I could get some more information there. But so Mealy Pops then says 400. He says, okay, if you're going to buy it, 350, but if you're going to trade, 400. So he drops the same number. See how they're like synced up? And they're synced up on that number of 400,000, right? So now, when Sasha T then does the deal, so that's what when I looked at this, it's like, oh shit. Well, look at Mealy Pops and the Jacob guy, they're the ones who bought the case. They're the scammers who bought the case. So when Sasha's over there talking to Mealy Pops, and then he makes the deal with Jacob, it's like he's making a deal with the same people that are in bed together. So why would Sasha be trusting the opinion of Mealy Pops if Mealy Pops is in business with the Jacob guy? That doesn't make sense to me. Something about that is wrong, except when you look at it as building up, if they're building up the drama for the future sale of the Pokemon case. Look at the people that he was involved with. And why is Mealy Pops so involved with this? He's supposed to be a sports guy. Why was it him? Why was it him that Sasha T was talking to? And then when you go see the deal that he makes, it's like, well, you're dealing with the guy that is Mealy Pops' partner. And they're all dropping the same number. They've already got it in their head, 400,000, 400,000. They're all saying 400,000. So let's listen to this.
How much do they expect it to go for?
Probably 400.
Well, what do you want?
See? Trade value has to be 400.
See, the trade value has to be 400. See how did they all get to that exact number? They're all exactly on the same number? I mean, there's got to be some fluctuation when you're talking about something that's worth $400,000, but they're all precisely, identically, they've got the same number. And in my experience in life, when you see something like this, that's fake. It's a scam. There's something going on here. They're fake. They're acting and shit. This is fake. This was fake this has something to do, like I said, this has something to do with the buildup of the Pokemon. Now, the date on this is March 18th. Okay, the March 18th, that's the date on this. So if you go to the, here, now this is the video of Mealy Pops talking with that Jacob guy who's going to inform him, hey, I've got this deal, right? The date on this is April 16th. So you're like 1 month away. 1 month before the case thing happens, you have that big event with the Charizard happening at the Dallas show with Sasha T buying that Charizard. That's pretty close. That's pretty close when you've got that main event happening, which was a big deal. Okay? And then 1 month later, you've got the other players there. You've got the Jacob and the Mealy Pops guy. And now they're pulling this big deal 1 month later, which that turns really quick into the sale. They sell it to the Shine guy and stuff, right? So here, listen to this too. Like, listen when he says, look, I've got the great deal. the greatest thing. He says 86 Fleer case, but he instantly names a case. Oh, well, you find a sealed case and stuff. And, so that's the biggest deal. I mean, that's the thing that instantly comes to his head. And it comes to his head, the reason he says sealed case is because that's the setup. That they're doing the sealed case setup thing. So, he tries to fool you by saying, 86 Fleer, he tries to fool you. And now that I think about it too, from my understanding, the BBCE, the baseball card exchange, they're really famous for what I understand. Their most famous graded thing of what they graded is supposed to be a case of 86 Fleer basketball. From what I understand, that's supposed to be the big case of what they graded was an 86 Fleer basketball. So what's the case that if the first thing out of his words is 86 Fleer basketball, that's what he says, a sealed case of 86 Fleer, and then it's like, no, I've got a Pokemon case, a sealed case. And it's like, this is not natural. This is what I'm saying. When you see these events occurring like this, it's not natural. It's all fake, and there's a much bigger. And now that I'm seeing it, that the date, when you see the date is just 1 month after the Sasha T, and you look at the people that Sasha T was talking with, and it's like, well, these are the same people that were involved in the Logan Paul fucking case thing.
Hey, Jamil, what's going on? It's Jacob.
Jacob, what's up, dude?
I found baby's fine the whole time.
What? Like you found a box of 86, 87 Fleer basketball? Like, what are you talking about?
He's 86. I thought he said case too there, but he said a box. But when he's saying box, the reason I thought he said case is because actually that's what he's not saying. He found a single box. What he means is a box, a sealed case. That's actually, when he was saying that, that's actually what he was saying, like a box. That's actually what he meant. Now, I technically misread that. I thought he said sealed case, Like I said, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch this over. I knew what was going to come here, so I just put it on there. So I didn't watch it over before I did it. But when he says a box, that's what he's actually alluding to. He's actually alluding to, when he's saying a box, he's actually alluding to like a sealed case. That's actually what he's alluding to, but he didn't technically say it.
This blows that out of the water.
No. You're just joking with me.
I found the sealed case of first edition Shadowless booster box.
Ooh, drama. Okay, so then there it is. That's the case after they've wrapped it and shit, right? Here they are selling it to Shine and shit, right? And here he is. The Jacob guy's going to be right there with them. But listen to how they're talking about it. They're talking about, oh, this is a museum piece. Look at it. And it was fake. So and I keep saying, there's no way possible you could have these kind of level of experts who are dealing in $1 million transaction and they wouldn't know that the thing is fake. Because it was fake. It was totally fake. It was easy to be spotted. It was fake.
You don't have to go through all that. You don't have to go through that song and dance with this.
When he saw this,
these are all legit.
He was so blown. He looked at it and he's like, wow. He said, this thing was kept in good shape.
This is something that really could be a modern day museum piece. Like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, what's he going to say? That, right? He says 86, 87, so I want to see what he says there.
86, 87.
This would be in a museum for sure.
Absolutely.
See? And he goes right back to that 86, 87. He goes back to that Fleer thing because... And I think when I'm hearing that, what he's saying there is, I think that what he's doing there is because the BBC is known for wrapping a sealed case of the 86, 87 Fleer. And there's that's out there. That's why he keeps dropping that, these little subtleties and shit, right? But here's the two guys. So you're going to tell me Sasha T went to the Mealy Pops, got advice so he could go do business with the Jacob on a deal? See how that does not make sense? It doesn't work. Why would you go get an advice of a price of something from Mealy Pops, and then you would go do the deal with the Jacob when they're totally in business together? Because look at what they did just a month later. Now this video here is April 19th. That's what I was saying. They did the one video, they bought it, they wrapped it as quick as possible, and it sold. They sold it. So within a month, you're talking, this video premiered on April 19th. Okay, so Sasha T's video was on March 18th. So you're talking like in a 1 month span from when Sasha T is doing business with these guys for a big Charizard card they're trying to bring attention to the value of what a Charizard could be, because that's the value that they're placing on the case, because they're saying there's 6 boxes, maybe there's 6 Charizards in there, so that's why they're creating this value and stuff, right? And Mealy-Pop's hyping it up. Oh, this is a museum piece, and it's like, dude, it was fake. It was always fake. It was never authenticated. That's the thing too, is like, it's never authenticated, and that's why he keeps dropping that subtlety thing, oh, the 86 Fleer case and stuff, because BBC's most famous grading thing out there, the BBCE, their most famous graded product of what they did was a sealed case of the fucking 86 Fleer. That's like their big case is what they're documented for grading that and stuff, right? Because after this turned out fake, the one thing that everybody was saying is, oh, do we got to question if that 86 case is Fleer is fake now that was graded by BBCE? So that's why I know that they did that. And it's like, there's something going on here that's like way beyond us, but it actually, now when I look at it, it looks like it actually, the first step was the Sasha T buying of the Charizard. That actually looks like the first step in this scam, you know, and then which it ended up being the final step was the Logan Paul buying it and it being exposed and shit, right? But that's where the Rattle Pokemon, he had to be involved, because it's a timing thing. It's the timing of the fraud of this had to align with the launching of the Prime Drink Company, which it perfectly aligned with. If you see when it happened, you see that it's perfectly aligned. And the stuff like that, it just doesn't, in the real world, in the natural order of the world and stuff, things don't work out like this. This is too organized, it's too perfect. They're all dropping these hints and the stuff, the subtleties of what's going on. You can see the players who are involved with each other, and this is acting. This is like a scripted TV show. There's something going on. This shit was all fake and shit, right? And so that's what I'm saying, is that I've seen this, and it made me think that the Sasha T, that was the first step. It wasn't this. It wasn't them buying the case and stuff. That wasn't the first step. The first step was for the Sasha T deal to go down, which validated this guy, the Jacob, as being a legitimate, you know, Charizard dealer, right? And then he's hooked up with Mealy-Pops, and they're saying this case is authentic and shit, right? Here, we sell it to the Shine for the $2 million, but then the Shine sells it to the Logan Paul. They have like this separation of a person, so it's not directly them, so they can kind of, then they can come back and say, well, it's not us, and it creates confusion with the public. But now that I'm looking at it over, and now it's like one of those things, the hindsight is 2020. Now as I look at it again, it's like, now I'm seeing the bigger picture, that it started with the Sasha T, which means Sasha T had to have known. Sasha T doesn't just randomly buy the thing. He doesn't just randomly go to Mealy-Pops and then randomly do a deal with Jacob. That's not occurring. And what was the number that they all agreed upon? 400,000. So they all just agreed upon this number before the deal even goes down. They've got this perfect number in place and shit, right? It's like, come on. And so Sasha T is just going to give up these really quality basketball cards. Plus he gave up like 100,000. There was like $100,000 cash and shit, right? So Sasha T made that deal, gave up the money and did the stuff. That means that he had to be involved in, like, what I'm saying is the bigger payoff, the Prime Drink Company. They were issued stocks in that Prime Drink Company. There's something there. Now, that's one of the things, to go find it and find exactly, well, you would have to investigate that Prime Drink Company. You'd have to see who are the stockholders and the shareholders, exactly how that was distributed and stuff. That's where you would find your proof. Like if I was like the FBI and shit, right, and I was investigating this, I would go look at, that's where I'd be looking and stuff. But I don't have the ability to do that and shit, right? But I would know where to look. That's what I can do. I'm just as a normal person, and seeing the scam that's involved, I know where to look for the fucking clues and shit, right? I know how to find them. But to get access to that stuff and actually do that kind of investigation, you need to be like the FBI. But the FBI, I'm sure they're not looking into this, because it was a scam from the beginning, and there's nobody really out there crying, I was ripped off and shit. Everybody got their money back, and everybody just kind of, they let it breeze over. And then you have so much other stuff going on in the world with like the Ukraine and the Russian shit. Everybody's thinking about the Ukraine and Russia and all that stuff. Nobody's thinking about this and shit, but But that Prime Drink Company is in the stores and it's being fucking bought and sold. It's there. Its place now is established. When you go buy a Prime Drink Company, most of the people in the world, they're not going to think about the Logan Paul Pokemon case stuff. They're not thinking about Sasha T buying the Charizard. They're not thinking that. They're just thinking, oh, look at this pretty colors on this drink. Oh, let me taste it, because everybody wants to try the new thing. Oh, the new thing, because they want to say, I did that. That's how people are in the world. They're sheep. They just follow, and that's what these people who are doing these kind of deals, they know that the population is sheep, and they're stupid, and their attention span is very small. So they're not worried about doing this, and because people's attention span is small, and they're not going to keep thinking about this forever and shit. But I'm not that way. My attention span goes on, and I don't forget about these things. And when I see something else later, it sparks something else, and then it makes me look back into it and shit, right? So that's what I'm saying, is like, because I was totally not thinking about this shit, because my position on this was like, well, they won. Logan Paul got the drink company into all the companies. That company's huge and shit. These people all got their money back. They're gonna let it blow over. Like, don't you think that Mealy Pops at the next national sports card show, when they have the National in Atlantic City, Mealy Pops is going to be set up there, right? Big old Mealy Pops and shit, right? He's going to be set up. People are going to be going and buying and selling cards from him. They're not going to be like thinking, their attention span is going to be small, so they're not going to be constantly thinking about, oh yeah, you were involved in that Logan Paul thing. They're just going to be like, they're going to be doing business, and it's just their attention span will be small. But there must have been a bigger payout for all of these guys. That's what I keep saying, is that there was some bigger payout that was these guys were all involved in and stuff. And that's why I bring in that Gary V guy, because he looks like the master controller that was over controlling, and he had access to all of these people and shit, right? So I'm just giving some of my thoughts and stuff. And I had this new thought about that Sasha T looks like he was actually involved in this this Charizard, and then which led to being the sealed case, which ends up being the Logan Paul scam stuff. You know, it just is like, fuck, it looks like they're all in bed together.